Hi everybody, this is Gaz from ILA, and today it's a dreaded grammar corner, as I've decided to call it. So don't be afraid of the grammar, it is very important. So what we're looking at today are the words used to and would, okay? Two small words, but which are important. And it's quite easy to learn the rule. That's the good thing about these words. There is a rule, so you can relax. Now, first of all, we should understand that both of these words can be used to express past habits, but they cannot be used to express a single event. So, once more, past habits, something you did more than once. You can use either of these words, but if it only happened once, you have to use the past simple. So, let's now look at the rule. Our rule is would cannot be used with state verbs ever. Let's remind ourselves what a state verb is. A state verb is a verb which is a state and not an action. So words such as love and hate and think. Okay, so let's compare these two sentences. You think what the answer is going to be. When I was a student, I love sleeping all day on the weekends. Do we think it's used to, or do we think it's would? Well, did you spot this word here? Love. What is love? It's a state verb. So of course we cannot use would. We have to use used to. Let me write it down. Used to. When I was a student, I used to love sleeping all day on the weekends. This is a fine sentence now. Second sentence, when I was a student, I sleep all day on the weekends. What's the correct answer? Can I use used to? Yes. Can I use would? Yes. I can use both of these words now because there's no state verb. So I'm going to write in here would. That's your choice now. Always look for the state verb. When you're thinking about speaking, if you're going to use a state verb, use used to. If you're not sure, use used to. You cannot be wrong with used to. You can be wrong with would. That's my tip. So, let's now look at the preferences. There are two of them. The first preference is it is better to first establish a time frame in the past before using would. Little bit confusing, what's he talking about? So let's compare these two sentences. I watch cartoons every Saturday morning when I was a child. Can I use would? Can I use used to? Let's go with used to. I used to, because we can't make a mistake with used to. There's no state verb. So I used to. I used to watch cartoons every Saturday morning when I was a child. This is fine. But if I want to use would, if I want to be flashy, if I want to show off, if I want to expand my vocabulary, I want to use would, then what I need to do is find the time frame in the past and bring it to the front of the sentence. So let's do that now. When I was a child. This is the time frame in the past. Unless you're still a child and you've always been a child. No, so we're going to bring it here, see? Right there. We bring the time frame to the beginning of the sentence. When I was a child, I would. Now I would is fine. But if you don't remember this, it's not important. It's not a mistake. It's just a preference. If you want to speak the language, write the language perfectly, this is what you should do, okay? And the second preference is that would is more romantic and used more often when writing. So again, compare these two sentences for me. I used to gaze at the stars every night before bed. Nice. When I was younger, I would gaze at the stars every night before bed. Which one sounds better to you? Which one can you imagine reading in a book? I think we can agree the second one. The second one is just nicer. Now, again, it's a preference, but try to remember. And as a little bonus for you, the word gaze If you're not familiar with this word, it means to look at something with love. So we might gaze into our partner's eyes, or we might gaze at the stars. This is why we call this hobby stargazing. So you're probably wondering now, like, why? 2 words. I don't need to use would. I can just use used to. Why do I even need to care? So listen, I'm going to tell you a story. When my brother and I were younger, my parents used to take us to Spain on holiday every year. My brother and I used to swim in the ocean, we used to eat ice cream, we used to play football, we used to run up and down on the terraces, we used to play with other children, we used to, blah blah blah. It's boring, there's no variety. So we have this word would, so that you can change it when you want to. It sounds much nicer if I was to tell you, when I was younger, my brother and I used to go on holiday with our parents to Spain every year. We would play in the sea, we used to eat ice creams, sometimes we would ride on a donkey, for example, so on and so on. So it's just a way of expanding your vocabulary and speaking the language more fully, I suppose. So that brings us to the end of our video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye for now.